Available home for sale has gone up 30.2%. Welcome back, everyone, to my Monday market update. Today, we are going to talk about the inventory, the available homes for sale available in Arizona, as well as other states in the country. We are going to talk about also each individual cities in Arizona to see which city is favorable to the seller right now, which cities that favorable to the buyer right now. Knowing this information will help you make an informed decision about the negotiation strategy and get the best deal out of the current market situation. With that, let's dive right into the information. Okay, so we are going to look at here, first of all, the dynamic shift in buyers and sellers across the country. Okay, we're seeing here is a very much different dynamics depend on the regions. If we're looking in the northeast region, right, the yellow column represent the number of available seller, and the blue is represent the number of the buyers available on the market. Okay, there are actually more buyers than the sellers in the northeast and the midwest region. Okay, well, actually, the Northeast is actually a little bit higher. Midwest is a little bit more balanced, okay? But obviously, you see a much more difference between of the South and the West regions. Sellers are outnumber the buyers, okay? Creating a slower sales and more time on the market and more frequent price cuts. As a result, if you follow the market, right, and if you reference back to the Arizona market, that is the reason why you see a lot of price cut in Arizona homes for sale. If you come on the Zillow app, if you come to the Realtor.com app, if you go to the any housing website, you see price cuts, price cut, price cut. It is because of this. It is because of the imbalance between the level of supply and the level of the demand. Okay, specifically, what do you see in the inventory? What do we see in the inventory compared to the pre-pandemic level? All right, so this chart right here show a comparison between today market versus to 2017, 2019. That is the before the pandemic. Okay, national housing inventory is still down about 13%. That's across all the states in the US, okay? But the pictures is different depending on where you are. For example, if you are in Texas, right, 32.1%. If, of course, you are in Arizona, it's 32% increase compared to the pre-pandemic, okay? Florida is also up 29%, okay? While some of the states like Virginia are still Virginia is still like 36% below the pre-pandemic cannot speak today pre-pandemic levels. Okay, California is negative 5.9, Georgia is negative 6.7. Okay, some of the northeast state even lower, like 54% right here. Okay, so depend on where you are. Okay, and even at the metro level, some of the southern and western cities are now 25% more inventory than the pandemic, which is the reason why here right, you see a lot of sellers available in the south and the west regions of the country. Okay, the bottom line here, the real estate is no longer a one size fit all. Okay, if you see a video or reels, I know there's a lot of people trying to keep the market information, engage with the market information as it go. Okay, if you see a video, if you see a reels, it has to be a specific for that state. Okay, specific even for that area, and we are going to look at each individual cities in Arizona in a moment. Okay, but as you see here, it's all over the place. Arizona 30% up, California negative down 5.9%, Alaska down 45%, Washington 39%. Right, it's pretty much follow the region. However, each state is still also very different. Alabama down 60%. Okay, so there's a lot of variety here. So you have to follow a local expert in that state to be able to get the sense of what it is in that certain state. Talking about state, what is happening now in Arizona market? Because right now we see Arizona has the inventory level has goes up 30% compared to the pre-pandemic. It's like 6 years period, right? So what's happening now? What we see is we actually see compared to the previous month, okay, we see an interesting trend. Supply is falling in Arizona. How much? You may ask, okay? Uh, we are going to talk about a level. We are going to discover that in a couple of weeks because we have to collect more information before saying something for real, right? Right now, we only see the trend that is happening, and we're detecting that right away, okay? To let you know, the comfort, the way that we detect the signal is using the comfort market index, okay? It's actually jumped 8.4% in just 30 days compared to last month. Now, this is the biggest jump. If you follow the video last week, you look at the video last week that I have, it's only 6.9%. And the week before that is only 4 point something percent. And before that is only 1 point something. And before that is negative something. So you see that every single week we see an increase positive of market index. That means it's shifting toward back to the seller. Okay. In fact, we see right now 15 out of 17 cities that has the market index increase toward the seller's market in this month. Okay. The only two cities that is not is Maricopa and Tempe. Right. Those show a slight improvement for the buyers. Okay. That tells us competition is actually tightened again. So if you start losing the deal, losing the house that you like, is because more and more competition is available on the market right now. Okay, especially at the higher price area, and the champion is still Paradise Valley in this. Okay, we have known that Paradise Valley, because of the lack of inventory, in fact, right now there's only 92 active listings, single family house available for sale in Paradise Valley. This is actually the lowest level for 3 years, and this is way below the long-term average of 270 listing available. Okay, these factors driving its market index higher, making it one of the strongest sellers market in the state, Paradise Valley. Okay, what about other luxury market? Okay, we're talking about Cape Creek, we're talking about Scottsdale, we're talking about Fountain Hills. Those are the luxury. When we talk about luxury, those are the market that has a lot of houses more than $1 million. Okay, Cape Creek, 28% increase for the seller, 21% for Scottsdale, and 17% for Fountain Hills increase toward the seller. Okay, some of the tier cities like Avondale, Gilbert, or Chandler still are seeing stronger condition for the seller. 11% for Avondale and 10% for Gilbert. Right now, we actually have 5 cities that in the seller's market. Okay, now 3 is actually very weak and it's going to start to go back to balance. 5 is in the balance market right now, and 7 is still remaining in the buyer's market. Okay, so obviously, while the buyers are still having some opportunities in many parts of the valley, because there's still 7 cities that is in the buyer's market, 5 in the balance market, right? The overall momentum is something that I want to emphasize. Okay, the overall momentum is shifting toward the sellers. Okay, so obviously, if you are still waiting on the line, if you're waiting on the line and you're waiting for the perfect moment, you may be too late. Okay, if this momentum keep happening, you may be too late to the game. What game is that we're talking about? The game of negotiation. the situation, the market in which the buyers finally have some power to negotiate with the seller. The reason why I'm saying this is because in Arizona market specifically, there's so many years since COVID, right? Or even before that, the seller has much more negotiation power than ever. And in this market, you are actually in the very perfect market if you're shopping for a house right now. Okay. All right. Now let's look at some of the zip code across the US state. Okay. All of the zip codes still decline. Okay, see the decline of home prices available, of home price. Okay, I'm not saying that. Obviously, some of you already seeing Realtor.com or Zillow.com or Redfin.com. You have the ability to know the available inventory on the market right now. And some of you ask me, is the home price going down? Yes, the short answer is yes, but I want to give you the detail of how much, because a lot of people are thinking, okay, this house dropped 20%, this house dropped 40%, for I'm sorry, 20,000, this house dropped 40,000, this house dropped 10,000, this house dropped 5,000, right? So all across the number, but exactly how much it is, okay? According to the ARMLS data, this is the multiple listing service available for Phoenix metro area from June 2024 to June 2025, okay? The average list price per square foot dropped 3.5%, okay? And since June 30th is continued to drop another 3.4% compared to now. So, well, while this number is a drop, I have to emphasize this, okay? It's not 20%, 30% like a lot of people thinking it happened back in 2028 and 2020. I'm sorry, 2008 and 2009, right? Okay, when the housing market booming. Okay, so it's a 3 point something drop. Okay, so the steepest decline is still in Florida and Texas. Okay, Arizona, California, and along other states is mostly still negative, but this is the highest. This is the number that we see in Arizona. Okay, so some key takeaway. Oh, sorry. One of the well, other cities actually have growth, like New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Illinois. Okay, so if you're buying a house in those areas for vacation home, you have to be aware of that. Now, the biggest for wind farm, like this is another things I have to talk about. Arizona overall is declined about 3.5%, okay, to 3.4%. But the exception is Paradise Valley. Paradise Valley, especially the zip code 85258, remains an exception, still holding strong with demand for luxury home outpacing supply. The bottom line is this: in Arizona, supply is tightened and the sellers are regaining some leverage, okay, in a lot of area, okay, especially in luxury markets. Nationally, though, South and West are broadly in the buyer's market with prices trending down. If you are the buyer, you may have negotiation in many markets in Arizona right now, all right? But in high demand area like Scottsdale or Paradise Valley, you may not have that opportunity. Okay, so my name is Longley. I'm so thankful that you are watching this market update. If you need to read more information about the current market situation, feel free to go to this website. Scan the QR code here, and it's gonna go to my website, or you can just search for magicalsuccessrealty.com is the website, and then go to market update. Then everything will be available for you on this website. Well, thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.